evil feeling towards our fellow Muslims, and specifically our fellow students. Specifically our fellow students of knowledge. We don't feel jealous, we don't feel in an evil competitive mood. There's a good competitive mood and there's an evil competitive mood. Okay? What we're talking about is the evil, that you always want to make sure that you know more than him. You know that, and you always want to put the other brother down. No, you should have nothing but brotherly love for your fellow students of knowledge and for all of your Muslims. So you cleanse your heart of these type of feelings. Because when your heart has been filthified, if you like, in these manners, it's not going to be able to benefit from the light of Islam. When it is filthy with feeling jealous of this person, and feeling envy with that person, and feeling hatred of that person, how is it going to accept and absorb the message of Islam? So you have to purify your heart of any type of envy, any type of ill feeling, rancor, hatred that you have for your fellow Muslims, and specifically your students of knowledge. You should look at your fellow brothers here, and the sisters should look at their sisters here, only with the eye of brotherhood, Islamic brotherhood. Pure feelings for them. Okay? Don't have anything in your heart against them. Don't have any type of ill feeling against them. So this is also very important. Like the Prophet ﷺ said, that in the body, there is a piece of flesh. If this piece of flesh is good, then the whole body will be good. And if this piece of flesh is rotten, then the whole body will be rotten. Verily, it is the heart. So our body has a little piece of flesh in it. It's called the heart. The Prophet ﷺ said, when this flesh is good, when it's pure, when it's good, when it wants nothing except good, when it doesn't have these feelings, and then the whole body is going to be good and pure. But when this little flesh, when this heart is full of evil, is full of maliciousness and hatred and envy and everything, the whole body will be gone. So this is the second point, is that we have to make sure that our hearts are purified from these type of feelings. The third thing is that our body, we talked about the heart now, the third thing is our body should be purified of sins. We should try to purify our limbs from doing any sins, and try to inculcate the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our lives. We try to make sure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's taqwa is the foremost thing. Like we quoted the hadith in the last lecture, is that the example of the one who teaches others good but forgets himself is like the candle or the light. I mean, there's another hadith, does the candle, is that it gives light to others and it burns itself in the process. So we have to make sure that when we're learning this knowledge, right, what is the purpose of this knowledge? It's to implement it, to help us, okay, to increase our own consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the third thing then is that make sure that we apply this knowledge and we avoid sins. Imam al-Shafi'i, who is Imam al-Shafi'i? one of the four imams of the schools of thought, right? What was his full name? Sheikh Shafi'i? Huh? Oh, trivia Sheikh? Yes, it is. You should know this stuff, like I said. You should know this stuff, you know. And perhaps if you have another piece of paper, write down this type of information. It's very useful. You should know this type of stuff. Imam al-Shafi'i, who was he? No one knows his full name? Huh? No, that was Imam Malik. It was Imam al-Shafi'i. His name is Muhammad ibn Idris al-Matlabi, al-Imam al-Mashhur, al-Shafi'i. Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i. When did he die? No, not 110. Huh? Muhammad ibn Idris. Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i. No, not 260. Huh? Muhammad ibn Idris. Idris. I-D-R-I-S if you like. What year did he die? Close. 204. Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i, he died 204, okay? Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i, what was I going to say? I forgot. Oh, okay. I just totally forgot. Okay, we were talking, which point are we talking about now? Exactly. Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i, he had, okay, we get another trivia. He had a sheikh known as Waqi' ibn al-Jarrah, another famous scholar of hadith. You're getting tired of these names now. It's forever, you know, it's beneficial to know. Waqi' ibn al-Jarrah, he died 197 or 198 actually. I'm getting confused. 198 I think actually, or maybe 197. Children, wife, I don't know. I don't know that much. Waqi' ibn al-Jarrah. Imam al-Shafi'i, he complained to Waqi' ibn al-Jarrah, right? He complained that I can't seem to memorize all this knowledge I'm studying. Why is it that I'm hearing all this stuff and it's just not thinking in my head? Okay? So Waqi' responded to him. And Imam al-Shafi'i, one of the things that you should know is that he was not only an alim in fiqh and in tafsir and in hadith and everything, he was also an alim in the Arabic language. And he was one of the most famous poets of his time, believe it or not. And his poetry is one of the most beautiful that anyone can ever read. So he versified, he made into a poem this incident. So he said, شَكَوْتُ إِلَى وَكِيعٍ سُوءَ حِفْظِي. I complained to Waki' my bad memory. I complained to him that I have a bad memory. What can I do? Okay? فَأَرْشَدَنِي إِلَى تَرْكِ الْمَعَاصِي. So Waki' advised me to leave doing all sins. He said, advise me to leave sins. Okay? وَقَالَ إِنَّ دِينَ اللَّهِ نُورٌ. And Waki' said that this religion of Allah, the deen of Allah, is like a light. فَأَنَّا لِنُورِ اللَّهِ أَنْ يُعْطَى لِعَاصِي. How can it be that the light of Allah is given to a sinful person? So basically the poem says that I complained to Waki' concerning my bad memory. I can't memorize what I'm learning. So Waki' responded to me to leave doing all sins. And he said that this religion is the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So how can this light be given to a sinner? Okay? So this, in this thing, my point is, again, we get back to the third point, is to leave sin. Okay, try as much as we can to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And obviously we are only human. We are not angels. We are going to sin. But still, a talib al-ilm, the student of knowledge, should realize the greatness of what he has done if he has done a sin. And repent to Allah immediately. Okay, and try to leave it. We're always going to commit sins for the rest of our lives. But obviously, the true talib al-ilm, he minimizes his sins. And he makes them, he tries to stay away from all of the sins that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forbidden him from. And if he ever falls into one, he is very quick to repent. And he becomes more conscious and beware of that sin, more than before. Okay? So the point is, if we want to increase our knowledge and want to have proper etiquette and adab, one of the ways, the third way that we mentioned was to leave doing sins and to increase our taqwa. The fourth thing is that a person should understand in his heart, he should conceptualize the importance of this knowledge. And we talked about this in the last lecture. And he should realize that what he is learning is the very deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the very religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he is learning. So this is a very serious and grave matter. Just like every one of us that has gone through college knows. For example, I'm an engineer. I was an engineering major. I graduated with a chemical engineering degree, okay? When I used to go to my American history class, sometimes Imran and I, we used to go play table tennis, if you remember. We used to skip and go play table tennis, okay? And I'm not making this up. You go to your American history class, and it's no big deal. When I used to go to my chemical engineering classes, it's a different person now. Taking serious notes, make sure you get down every equation, you understand the concepts, ask questions. Why? Because I realized what was more important and what was less important. Okay? Likewise, the student of knowledge, how much more important it is, the knowledge that he is learning. And the point I'm trying to say is the seriousness of the knowledge. A person should realize this. Okay? The seriousness of this knowledge. A person, when he understands how great this knowledge is, then and only then will he respect it in that manner. Okay? So a person should realize the benefits and the blessings of knowledge, like we discussed in the last lecture, and that will increase him in his seriousness of his study. So this is the fourth adab, is to understand the weight and the importance of what he is studying. The fifth adab, or the fifth, if you like, characteristic that he should have, are good studying habits. Good studying habits. Okay? Now this is going to be affected depending on the person and his age and how many hours a day he has, and so on and so forth. But the point is, every person should have some type of schedule, some type of we call it Arabic barnamij, some type of schedule, for lack of a better word, of what he's going to do. For example, the full-time student, studying 24 hours a day, it's well known the cycle that he should go. In the morning, early morning, memorize. Okay? Memorize in the early morning. After that, you go over some new topics, study, learn. Okay? In the afternoon, you go over older topics. And in the evening, older meaning you revise. In the evening, you do research and your own stuff. Because this is how the brain is attuned to. Is that when you wake up fresh in the morning, you're ready to take and you're ready to memorize. Okay? Obviously, this is for the full-time student. Many of us, inshallah, for the next 4 weeks, we will be full-time students. But after that, we're all going to go our different ways. So the point is still, no matter what your qualifications are, no matter how much time you have, no matter what your resources are, every single one of us can make a barnamaj, a schedule that is perfect and good for him. Okay? So every one of us, and if you have some problems with this, go to a person who is more knowledgeable than you and who knows you very well, so that he knows your level and your qualifications. Okay? And you sit down with him and you tell him, I can afford these many hours a day, this is my budget, this is what I can do, and try to construct a schedule that you stick to. So the fifth thing is good study habits. Make sure that your study habits are efficient, practical, and effective. Okay? The sixth adab, or the sixth etiquette that a person should have, is that he should choose the proper companions. He should make sure that his peers, the people that are studying with him, are proper, are worthy. Okay? Like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, that al-mar'u ala dini khalilihi, that the person is going to follow the religion of his friends. So be careful who you choose as your friends. This is the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. A person is going to follow the religion, meaning the path, meaning the conduct, meaning the characteristics of his friends. So be careful who you choose as your friends. And every one of us knows this by personal experience. When you hang around good guys,